In my mother's side of the family, there's a lot of light-skinned Dominicans and dark-skinned Dominicans. My twin sister's darker than me. My older sister's what you call Java, which is light-skinned, kinky hair. But there's the mentality, even within my family, that we ain't black, you know.
All my three sisters were blonde.
Yeah.
And I was the only one that came out with black hair, dark skin, dark eyes. My sisters have these beautiful hazel eyes. My mom's Wera, which is the white one. They call her Tia Wera because she's so light skinned.
Yeah.
And so I grew up as La Prieta Fea, which means the ugly dark one.
No way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who called you that?
My mom.
No.
My family.
As like a joke?
No, as like, it's in term of endearment, but people would walk up to my mom and go, your daughters are so beautiful. And who's this?
Oh,
and I would be like,
God.
I'm one of them, blah, blah, blah. So I wasn't the pretty one. Like I grew up as not the pretty one. So there was a conscious decision when I was young to be the funny one. And I really think that has lent itself to my personality. Like not just like, oh, I'm going to be an actress, but like I just don't value beauty in my own self very much. And you know, I'm with L'Oreal, I'm a spokesperson, which my sisters are still like, why'd they pick you? Still, like nothing like family to ground you.
Yeah.
A lot of Hispanic and Latino parents will literally try to teach you at a young age to not be friends with black people. And it's fucking disgusting.
Dear Latinos, being racist to other Latinos, indigenous, and black folks will not bring you any closer to the whiteness that you crave so much. And if this message bothers you, then it was probably meant.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today news is very weird, guys. I'm telling you. Imagine some Latinos are finally admitting what they were told behind closed doors about black people, and honestly, this is very deep. This is very crazy. I didn't expect them to be that real about it. But you know what? It's something we really need to talk about, because this is kind of conversation has been long overdue. Guys, let's get into it. I will be right back.
Why are so many Latinos racist against black people? Good question. So first of all, let me start by acknowledging that's the truth. And anyone that says otherwise is not. Secondly, race is just a construct that was invented by European people intended to divide us, which they successfully managed to do. And unfortunately, just like many other purposefully marginalized communities, we play along exactly into the narrative of letting them divide us. We all have that tío or abuelito or papa in our family that is racist, that is, has issues with black people or Asian people, or is homophobic or transphobic. And most likely it's more family members than not. The issue is that it's really difficult to have these conversations. But we need to have these conversations with our own community. We need to call out, call in, and educate our own family members, our own friends. And too often I see Latinos stay silent. And they say, oh, that's just how he is.
The best example of how anti-black the Latinx community can be and is that the Dominican Republic and Haiti is on the same island, but only the Dominican Republic is considered Latin America, to most people at least. Like, it's only been the past few years that I realized that since I'm Haitian American, I am also Afro Latinx. In the way, it doesn't even sit right with me because I've never been considered that by the Latinx community is wild. Like, even on our island of Hispaniola, the anti-blackness, the racism, the colorism is wild, and I don't know, like it literally blows my mind.
I lived in Miami for almost a year, and while I was there, in the apartment building that I was living in Pembroke Pines, there were some Mexican guys doing some repairs on the roof. They saw me pass by walking my dog, and they say, beautiful, morena. And I was like, oh, thank you. And they say, where are you from? And I said, Cuba. They say, Cuba? We didn't know people in Cuba look like you. And I said, like me, like what? Black? And he just stopped on his tracks and changed the subject. The majority of Latino people are very racist. I didn't know that I was living in a very racist country until I met my Jamaican husband, and he made me realize how racist people in Cuba were. And once your eyes are open to this, you cannot unsee it. There was a time in Jamaica when you could watch Spanish television. We had two TV stations, Univision and Telemundo. These TV stations, each of them had one black anchor. One had one female for the news, and the other one had a male, two black people. Both TV stations show a wide array of telenovelas, which is basically Spanish soap operas. And these telenovelas were made and produced in Latin America. Brazil, Colombia, Mexico are one of the biggest places where soap operas are made. Now you tell me now how a Colombian telenovela of 350 episodes don't have one black person in it. If you see a black actor on a telenovela, is actually playing a slave or a character that they are trying to bring back to life, like Celia Cruz. So these have just added to that white supremacy and had made people from other places believe that black people doesn't exist in Latin America any at all. So if as a Jamaican, you travel to Miami and you suffer what he did, don't be surprised. I'm sorry this happenings to you, but it's a sad truth. Hopefully this will change soon in the future. Thanks for watching. Mucha love.
Not every Latina identifies as, but Latin women want to start their own. So are these just straight Latin women that don't identify as black or have no kind of black ancestry? You get what I'm saying?
Black people stay hating on Latinos. Is it jealousy? No. Jealousy? What? Jealous of what? There are black Latinos, so what is your point?
I feel like something people don't talk about is like the prejudice that we have within Latino communities. So I grew up in Miami, like most of us are Latino in Miami, but I did like experience like racism and things like that because of my skin color, because of my features. So that's something that like I struggled with. But at the end of the day, like my mom, I remember something she would do is like when Miss Universe would come on, she'd be like, look at all like the brown ladies. Like sometimes it would be like Miss Venezuela was like una morena. And she'd be like, look at her. Because my mom is a white Latina. So we look different in some ways. So that was kind of like a shock because where I was from in Nicaragua, I didn't experience that. We were all brown, you know, we all look similar to me. But in Miami, we have so many different cultures. And unfortunately, there is that prejudice within our community.
I was asked if there is racism in the Dominican Republic. This is a difficult subject because racial discrimination in my country is normalized, and most of the people don't think we have a racism issue, which makes the dialogue difficult. But yes, there is racism in the Dominican Republic, and there is colorism too. I realized that for people outside our cultural context, to hear that on a country where the majority of people is black or mulatto, there is racism sounds absurd. But hear me out. This is a consequence of colonialism. During colonial dominion, there is an imposition of language, religion, and culture of the colonizers. So we were taught to believe that everything that was black or African was bad or ugly. Follow me for more.
I faced discrimination for speaking my native tongue. Time and time again, white sailors would butt into my private conversations to confront my friends and I for speaking Spanish. They would say things like, it's rude to speak Spanish. Stop speaking that language. This is America. And to be clear, this would happen when I was chilling with my friends, not during work hours. There were times I felt helpless, like the system was against us, even though we had every right to speak our language. But I wasn't one to just sit there and take it. I would argue back, and that would often get me into trouble. But I didn't care because I was putting my life on the line for this country. And I'll be damned if someone's gonna restrict my freedom of speech. So to all the racists and xenophobes who keep telling us to speak English, listen up. It's disrespectful to tell anyone not to speak their native tongue. Because this is America, a land of immigrants, a melting pot of cultures where we could go to any restaurant and speak any language que nos pega la gana. And if you don't like it, too bad, because we're not going anywhere.
So my parents call me Prieto. Prieto means dark. Or Negro. Negro obviously means black. And that's literally what they call me, right? My cousins will call me Negrito. And I guess in Mexico, it's so desensitized. But again, in Mexico, slavery was abolished way before the US. So maybe that's why it's not a thing. I don't know. Now, with that being said, I'm the dark kind of Mexican, obviously, right? So I'm actual brown, not peachy brown. I'm brown. It's now becoming a thing. More recently, I started hearing about colorism. Like colorism, this is the first year that I hear about it. I've never heard about it in my life. Racism, obviously we grew up with that, right? Like we grew up knowing about it. I've always refused to be a victim or whatever. Nonetheless, I acknowledge that it's a real thing, right? It exists. So in Mexico, the racism and colorism stuff isn't as apparent, but I guess it's a thing. I've never experienced it, but then again, I don't go to Mexico too often. Yeah, here in the US, I don't think people can call or have those nicknames for other people, especially if their actual color is not the same color, right? So I don't think a white person calls things to people, which is kind of weird. That in Mexico it is allowed. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. Are Mexicans racist? I don't think so. It comes from a place of love when they say those things. At least that's what I think.
Did you know that first of all, respect and honesty, it takes guts to admit that you were raised hearing certain things about black people? Oh my God, this is truly tragic. Especially the negative stuff, but at the same times, it shows how deep the problem really is. Exactly. Racism doesn't just come from white folks. It's been passed down in other communities too quietly. Guys, did you catch it very well? I'm telling you. Some of them said their parents or other relatives taught them not to date black people, not trust them. Imagine that. This is unbelievable. Oh no, even to act better than them. That's weird. Because when you think about it, we all go through the same struggles in this country. Imagine, guys. And the system doesn't really see big difference between brown and black. Guys, did you catch it very well? But somehow, people were taught to look down on each other. Exactly. Guys, let's be real, let's be honest, and a lot of that comes from wanting to fit in with white society. Exactly. Some families feel if they distanced themselves from black people, they had been more accepted, but guess what? That never worked. You can't earn respect by putting down another group that's fighting the same fight. Imagine. This is very, very tragic. I expect that these people came forward and told the truth. They didn't have to, and they could have kept it quiet. But by opening up, they started a real conversation, guys, because hearing starts with honesty, and you can't fix what you want first. Oh no. This isn't about Latinos and black people. It's all about how the system has spread all of us. Very understandable key points. Divide and conquer. That's the game. Keep the people at the bottom of fighting each other. So, nobody looks at the real power structure. Once we understand that, we stop fighting each other and start building together. Oh my God, this is very understandable key point. Guys, to my black brothers and sisters, this is the end time to hit back. It's time to teach. It's time to show who we really are. Oh my God, because a lot of those lies they had behind closed doors, guys, they came from fear and ignorance. When people meet real, proud, and educated, strong black folks, those lies died fast. Oh my God, this is really unbelievable. To my Latino brothers and sisters, if you grow up hearing this kind of talks, it's okay to unlearn it. Talk to your families, ask away where that hate really came from, because the truth is, we got more in common than we think. The same people who look down on us both benefit from keeping us divided. Oh my God. Guys, at the end of the day, we can't change what our parents or grandparents said. Everybody knows this, guys. But we can change how act now. We can break that cycle. And I think that's what this moment is really about. Growth. I want to hear that y'all think, guys. Have you ever had things like this growing up? Very nice question and interesting questions. Do you think we can really come together? Another question, which is very good. Or is there still too much division? Oh my God. Guys, let's talk about it in the comment. This conversation might make some people uncomfortable. Oh my God. But that's how change starts. And I expect the ones who spoke up. Exactly. Guys, let's keep talking the real, respectful, and honest. Don't forget to like, to hit comment, and to hit subscribe button, because we need more conversation like this. Exactly. Guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.